Welcome to Rare Coins Numix. We're exploring some of the most sought-after Washington quarters, coins treasured for their history, rarity, and unique stories that make them true gems for collectors everywhere. Each quarter holds a piece of America's past, waiting to be discovered and appreciated. What if I told you that a simple coin, one you might find in your pocket, in a jar, or at the bottom of a drawer, carries the story of a woman who broke barriers, rewrote history, and inspired generations to reach for the stars? This isn't just a coin. It's a legacy. The 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter may be small in size, but its meaning is enormous. It's part of the U.S. Mint's American Women Quarters program, a series honoring the extraordinary women who helped shape the course of American history. And among those names, Sally Ride stands out. Long before she made history, Sally Ride was a curious girl growing up in Los Angeles. She loved reading. She loved science. And most of all, she loved asking questions. She wasn't just interested in how the world worked, she wanted to explore beyond it. She studied hard, played competitive tennis, and earned degrees in physics and English from Stanford, later completing a PhD in physics. But Sally didn't stop there. In 1978, NASA opened astronaut training to women. Out of over 8,000 applicants, Sally Ride was one of just 35 chosen. And in 1983, she made history by becoming the first American woman in space. That flight aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger wasn't just a milestone in science, it was a cultural shift. Millions watched, especially young girls, seeing someone who looked like them doing something that had always seemed out of reach. But her impact didn't end there. After leaving NASA, she focused on teaching and inspiring future generations. She authored books for children, promoted science education, and co-founded Sally Ride Science, a nonprofit focused on encouraging young people, especially girls, to explore STEM fields. In 2022, the U.S. Mint honored her legacy with a special $quarter coin. It wasn't just recognition, it was a tribute from a nation that she helped inspire. The front of the coin features a refreshed portrait of George Washington. But it's the reverse side that captures the imagination. There, Dr. Sally Ride is shown looking out toward space, with a thoughtful, focused expression. Her hair appears to float, a subtle nod to zero gravity. Behind her is the curved Earth, and above her shoulder, the classic NASA logo. Every detail was carefully chosen to reflect her life and mission. The design, created by artist Emily Damstra and sculpted by Phoebe Hemphill, tells a quiet but powerful story. It reminds us that this wasn't just an astronaut, this was a woman who helped reshape how we think about possibility. The inscriptions read, United States of America, e pluribus unum, Sally Ride, and $quarter. For lines of text, surrounding a life that left an enormous mark on science, space, and education, these quarters were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver and marked with a small P or D. While many were struck, only a portion exist in top condition, and that's where collectors' attention turns. Some of these coins ended up in circulation, showing wear and handling. But others were preserved, untouched, sealed, or part of official mint rolls and sets. Coins in flawless condition, especially those graded MS 67 and above, have become highly sought after. Some were struck with perfect clarity, others show minor errors, small mistakes during minting that actually make the coins even more valuable. A double die, a misaligned print, or a planchet flaw can turn a regular quarter into something worth hundreds or even thousands. Proof versions of the coin, designed specifically for collectors, feature a polished finish and deeper contrast. These are usually sold in special sets and never intended for circulation. Graded and slabbed examples from reputable services like PCGS or NGC tend to carry the highest premiums. And while not every Sally Ride quarter is rare, depending on its grade, mint mark, and condition, it could be worth far more than its face value. But there's more to this coin than market value. What truly makes it special is who it honors, and what she stood for. Dr. Sally Ride wasn't just the first American woman in space. She was a pioneer, a physicist, and an advocate for education. She helped break through barriers that had stood for decades and then dedicated her life to helping others do the same. For many, owning this coin is about more than collecting, it's about remembering. It's about carrying a piece of American history in your pocket, your palm, or your display case. And here's the amazing part, it's still accessible. You don't need to be a professional collector to appreciate or even find one. You might spot it in your change or pick one up online. It might be a simple circulated quarter, or it could be something much more valuable. That if you want to evaluate a Sally Ride quarter, start by checking the condition. Look at the surface, is it clean? Are the details sharp? Is there any damage or wear? Look for the mint mark, either a P or a D, and see if anything looks unusual or off-centered, and if you think your coin is in excellent condition or has unique traits, consider sending it to a grading service for professional evaluation. That small step can make a big difference in identifying its real value. Even if you never sell it, the story this coin tells, the courage, the achievement, the inspiration, makes it worth keeping. Because this quarter is more than currency. It's a message. A message that science matters. That representation matters. And that one woman's journey into space helped bring an entire generation closer to the stars. So the next time you hold a quarter, take a closer look. Up next in our lineup of hidden coin treasures is one that might just be sitting in your pocket right now, a 1990 Washington quarter. It's a coin most people have seen, spent, or tossed in a drawer without thinking twice. But the story behind this simple piece of change might just make you see quarters in a whole new light. The 1990 quarter was minted in Denver, marked by the tiny D beneath the motto, "In God We Trust." At first glance, it looks like any other Washington quarter. The same familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse. The proud eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. Same metal. Same size. Same weight. Nothing about it screams rarity. But sometimes, the most valuable things are the ones hiding in plain sight. In 1990, the United States Mint was producing coins by the hundreds of millions. Over 900 million quarters were struck at the Denver Mint alone that year. These coins were never meant to be rare or special, they were made for spending. Day-to-day tools of the economy, you could use one to buy a soda, make a phone call, or feed a parking meter. They clinked in pockets, fell between couch cushions, and disappeared into piggy banks. Most of these quarters went on to live rough lives, scratched, worn down, tossed around for decades. But a very small number escaped that fate. Somehow, a handful remained untouched. Either sealed away in original mint rolls, forgotten in collections, or preserved by sheer luck, and those few survivors. That's where things get really interesting, because the 1990 quarter, when found in exceptional condition, we're talking near flawless, uncirculated, perfect surfaces, becomes something else entirely. A highly sought-after collectible. A coin with the potential to turn heads and even raise eyebrows at auction. Let's talk about why. You see, coin collectors, or numismatists, judge a coin by its grade. They look for how well it was struck, whether it's been circulated, and if it has any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 60 is decent. MS 65 is excellent. But MS 67 or MS 68? That's when you enter elite territory, and here's the key, very few 1990 quarters exist in those ultra-high grades. Out of the hundreds of millions minted, only a tiny fraction have ever been found in truly pristine condition. Why so rare? Because this was a year without fanfare. No commemorative designs. No special packaging. People didn't think to save them. And the mint certainly wasn't aiming for collector-grade perfection, they were focused on mass production, which means the few coins that were somehow preserved, perfectly struck, never touched, and free of flaws, are now worth far more than anyone expected. But condition isn't the only thing that matters, there are also the rare errors. Some 1990 quarters were minted with unusual quirks, like doubling on the lettering, misaligned dies, or faint die cracks across Washington's face. These minting mistakes, though unintentional, are like golden tickets for collectors. The stranger the error, the higher the demand. Still, even without errors, the 1990 quarter has earned a place of respect in modern collecting circles, especially those in exceptional condition. These coins are often submitted to grading services like PCGS or NGC. When one comes back with a top-tier grade, like MS 68, the game changes. That little quarter, once just 25 cents, suddenly becomes a showcase piece. You might think a coin like that would be locked away in some museum. But no, these coins do hit the market. And when they do, collectors compete fiercely. Now, imagine being one of the few people to find a 1990D quarter that's not just clean, but flawless. No contact marks, no scuffs, no wear. Just a perfect strike with glowing luster and crisp detail, the kind that looks like it was made yesterday. One such coin recently made headlines in the collecting world. It was graded at an incredibly rare level, in a condition so pristine it defied the odds. A coin that stood out from the rest by doing one thing right, surviving perfectly. And that coin, it sold for an astonishing $54,000. That's right. A coin that once sat in someone's change bowl, or slipped through a cashier's hand, ended up commanding a price that could buy a luxury car. It's a powerful reminder, value isn't always obvious. It's not always loud or flashy. Sometimes it hides behind years of wear, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a little curiosity to uncover it. So the next time you're sorting through change or cashing in a jar of coins, slow down. Take a closer look. That plain old quarter might not be so plain after all. It could be a survivor. It could be a rarity. And if you're really lucky, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Because sometimes, history doesn't shout. It whispers, from the edge of a coin. Don't go anywhere, stick around, because we've got even more hidden treasures waiting just around the corner. The next Washington quarter on our list is the 1984D, a coin that might look like any other at first glance but holds a surprising story beneath its surface. By 1984, the Washington quarter design had become a symbol of American everyday life. Millions of these coins passed through countless hands, used for everything from parking meters to payphones. Yet, despite their common appearance, some of these quarters are anything but ordinary. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1984, flooding the market with coins meant purely for circulation. But within that vast number lies an intriguing paradox, the rarity of perfection. You see, coins minted for circulation usually show signs of wear, scratches, dents, discoloration, and grime from decades of use. But every once in a while, some coins escape that fate. Whether tucked away in a collector's album or lost in a forgotten coin roll, these survivors retain the sharp details and brilliant surfaces they had the moment they left the mint. What makes the 1984D quarter particularly captivating is the balance between its commonness and its potential for extreme rarity and high grade. Because while millions were made, only a tiny fraction exist today in mint condition, the kind that make collectors' hearts race. This quarter bears the unmistakable D mint mark, signifying its origin in Denver, a facility known for striking billions of coins annually. Yet, not all coins struck here hold the same story. Some were mishandled, others worn to near oblivion, but a few were perfectly struck, exhibiting flawless features that set them apart. Among collectors, condition is king. The grading scale for coins ranges from heavily worn to virtually flawless. And it's in those near-perfect examples where real value lies. A coin that looks as crisp today as it did the day it was minted is more than just currency. It's a piece of history preserved in time, but rarity isn't the only factor that drives interest. Sometimes, subtle variations or minting errors add layers of intrigue and desirability. In the case of the 1984D quarter, collectors have identified a handful of such quirks, from faint doubling on the date to minor die cracks that create unique textures on the coin's surface. These imperfections, rather than diminishing the coin, can actually increase its appeal and value, turning a standard quarter into a sought-after collectible. For decades, these high-grade quarters remained hidden gems, known only to a small group of dedicated numismatists. However, as awareness grew and grading technologies improved, the demand for these coins skyrocketed. One remarkable example recently came to light, a 1984D quarter graded at an astonishing MS-69. That's nearly flawless, with only the tiniest imperfections visible under extreme magnification. This coin captivated collectors and investors alike, culminating in a sale that shattered expectations. It sold for a jaw-dropping $69,000. To think a quarter, an everyday object that once exchanged hands countless times for small purchases, could command such a price is truly astounding. It's a testament to the power of rarity, condition, and the enduring fascination with America's coinage history. This sale not only highlights the value of this particular coin but also serves as a reminder to all collectors: sometimes, the most remarkable treasures are hiding right under our noses. If you happen to have a 1984 D quarter, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for the quality of the strike, the sharpness of the details, and any unusual markings that might set it apart. Even if it isn't perfect, it might be worth more than you expect. This story also speaks to a broader lesson in collecting: patience and attention to detail can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. It encourages us to look closer, appreciate the craftsmanship, and recognize the value that time and preservation can add. And while $69,000 is a headline-grabbing number, it's not just about the money. It's about connecting with a piece of history, owning a tangible artifact from a specific moment in time that speaks to the economy, culture, and art of coinage. There's also something magical about holding a coin that has traveled through time untouched, a witness to history frozen in copper and nickel. It reminds us that the smallest objects can carry the greatest stories. This quarter reminds us that history and value aren't always found in ancient artifacts or precious metals, sometimes they're right in our pockets. So whether you're a seasoned collector, an investor, or just a curious soul, the 1984 D quarter offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of numismatics, a world where even the smallest coin can hold an incredible story. Next time you sift through your change or a dusty old coin collection, remember that value isn't always visible at first glance. Sometimes, treasure is quietly waiting, disguised as the ordinary. Take your time, pay attention, and you just might find a gem that tells a story no one else has yet discovered. And remember, every coin has a story, it's up to us to uncover it. Could the next rare find be in your hands? Only careful eyes and a bit of luck will tell. Next up, we're taking a closer look at the 1981 USA quarter dollar minted in Philadelphia, the 1981 P quarter. On the surface, it might seem like an ordinary coin, one of millions made that year, but there's much more to this quarter than meets the EYE.IN 1981. The Philadelphia Mint produced billions of quarters, continuing the long-running Washington quarter series. The obverse features the familiar image of George Washington, a design that has been a hallmark of American currency since 1932. The reverse proudly displays the eagle, symbolizing strength and freedom, a classic emblem that resonates with collectors and the public alike. While most of these coins circulated widely and show the wear of everyday use, some examples remain in exceptional condition, making them highly desirable. What truly makes certain 1981 P quarters stand out is their remarkable preservation. Unlike the vast majority of coins that show scratches, discoloration, and worn details, these coins look almost untouched: sharp lines, clear lettering, and a brilliant surface that reflects light beautifully. This level of condition is rare for coins that were meant for everyday transactions and has earned these quarters a special place among collectors. Adding to their appeal are subtle variations and minting anomalies found on some 1981 P quarters. These include slight doubling on the date or faint die cracks, small imperfections created during the minting process that make each coin unique. Collectors love these quirks because they tell a story about the coin's journey from the mint to the present day, increasing both its historical interest and value. Professional grading plays a crucial role in identifying and certifying these exceptional coins. Grading services examine the coin's condition under magnification, assigning a grade that helps buyers and sellers understand its quality. A 1981 P quarter graded MS-69 or MS-70 indicates a nearly flawless or perfect coin, something incredibly rare for a coin this age and type. Owning a 1981 P quarter in such condition means holding a piece of history that has remained untouched through decades. It's a tangible connection to the early 1980s, a time capsule in copper and nickel that reflects not just monetary value but cultural significance. Over the years, as collectors have sought out these high-grade coins, demand has grown steadily. The scarcity of top-quality 1981 P quarters combined with their attractive design and minting quirks has pushed their market value to impressive heights. The story behind this coin also reflects a broader truth about collecting: rarity and condition can turn the everyday into something extraordinary. It shows how a common item from our pockets can transform into a coveted treasure, cherished by collectors worldwide. For many, the thrill is in the hunt, the anticipation of discovering a coin that stands apart from the rest. And the 1981 P quarter offers just that, with enough rarity and charm to capture the imagination of any collector. If you ever come across one of these quarters, don't overlook it. Take a moment to examine its features carefully. A flawless surface, crisp details, and any unusual marks could indicate you're holding a coin with substantial value. Even coins that don't look special at first can sometimes surprise you when professionally graded. That's why it's worth getting your coins evaluated. If you suspect you found something rare, collectors and investors alike keep a close eye on coins like the 1981 P quarter because they represent a fascinating blend of history, art, and potential financial reward. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The value of a high-grade 1981 Philadelphia quarter can reach up to an astonishing $75,000, depending on its condition and rarity. This incredible value is a powerful reminder that treasures can be hidden in the most ordinary places, sometimes right in our own pockets. Beyond just value, the 1981 P quarter stands as a testament to the craftsmanship and precision of the U.S. Mint during that era. The minting process required meticulous attention to detail to create coins that would last for decades while maintaining their design integrity. Furthermore, the 1981 P quarter carries with it stories from everyday Americans who use these coins in their daily lives, from buying a cup of coffee to parking meters and beyond. Each coin, especially those preserved in pristine condition, connects us to those moments in time. For collectors, the allure isn't just in the value, but in the history and stories that these small pieces of metal represent. They embody decades of change, culture, and economy, all minted into a compact and portable form. So whether you're an experienced collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of coins, the 1981 P quarter invites you to look closer, appreciate the details, and maybe, just maybe, find a treasure hidden among the ordinary. Remember, coins like this teach us to value patience and curiosity, encouraging us to explore and discover the unexpected beauty and worth in everyday objects. Next time you handle a 1981 P quarter, think about its journey, how it started as raw metal, became a carefully struck coin, traveled countless hands, and perhaps even survived decades to become the valuable collectible it is today. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1981 P quarter is one shining example of how history, rarity, and condition can come together to create something truly remarkable. Stay tuned as we continue to explore more coins with rich histories and impressive values, each with their own unique story waiting to be uncovered. Moving to the number one coin of today's video, a rare and expensive treasure that every serious collector dreams of finding, the 1971 USA quarter dollar minted in Denver, the famous 1971 D quarter. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary coin, just one of millions struck during that year. But what sets this quarter apart is its incredible rarity and the unique story it carries. The 1971 D quarter represents a fascinating chapter in American coinage, blending history, craftsmanship, and scarcity into a single piece that continues to captivate collectors worldwide. In 1971, the Denver Mint was hard at work producing a massive volume of quarters as part of the ongoing Washington Quarter series. Featuring George Washington's dignified profile on the front and the proud eagle on the back, this design has stood the test of time, symbolizing American heritage and strength. However, the vast majority of these coins were destined for everyday circulation, quickly worn down over time and lost to history. Yet, among those countless quarters, a select few have survived in exceptional condition, pristine, virtually untouched by time. These coins showcase sharp details, a brilliant shine, and the kind of eye appeal that makes collectors stop and take notice. It's this rare preservation that elevates the 1971 D quarter from a common coin to a sought-after collectible. But rarity isn't just about condition. Some 1971 D quarters feature subtle but important minting anomalies, small die errors, slight doubling on the date or mint mark, or minor die cracks that occurred during the striking process. These quirks make the coins not only valuable but also fascinating pieces of minting history. They tell a story about the coin's creation, the technology of the mint at the time, and the delicate process of mass-producing currency. To truly understand why this coin is so valuable, it helps to consider the minting process itself. In the early 1970s, coin production was an intricate dance of machinery, skilled labor, and quality control. Each coin was struck multiple times under immense pressure to ensure every detail was crisp. But with such high volume, small errors were inevitable, and these errors, often seen as flaws in circulation, can become prized features among collectors. Professional grading is crucial in identifying these exceptional specimens. Coins graded MS-69 or MS-70 are nearly flawless and incredibly scarce. Such high grades are rarely achieved given the sheer volume of quarters minted that year. Collectors compete fiercely for these top-tier examples because they represent the pinnacle of preservation, rarity, and historical significance. The appeal of the 1971 D quarter goes beyond numbers and grades. It's a tangible connection to the early 1970s, a time of significant social and economic change in America. Holding one of these quarters is like holding a piece of that history, a small yet powerful symbol of a past era, frozen in metal. It reminds us of everyday life back then, from the simplest purchase at a local store to the larger economic shifts underway in the country. What makes the 1971 D quarter even more fascinating is the story of how such coins survive in pristine condition. Most coins pass through thousands of hands, exposed to rough surfaces, sweat, and environmental factors that wear down their details. But some coins find their way into collections or vaults early on, escaping the wear of circulation. These survivors become precious snapshots of the mint's original work, almost like time capsules. Demand for these coins has grown steadily as collectors and investors recognize their significance and scarcity. What was once a simple quarter is now viewed as a valuable asset with the potential for significant appreciation. This rising interest reflects a broader trend in the collectibles market, where rarity, condition, and historical context combine to create extraordinary value. Collectors are often amazed at how a coin they might overlook can suddenly become a prized possession worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 1971 D quarter is a perfect example of how the passage of time can turn everyday objects into treasured heirlooms. It's also important to remember that coin collecting isn't just about value, it's about the stories each coin tells. The 1971 D quarter connects us to the people who used it decades ago, their everyday transactions, their hopes, and the economy of the time. In that sense, it's much more than metal, it's a tangible link to our shared past. And here comes the moment you've been waiting for. The value of a top-grade 1971 Denver quarter can reach an astonishing $88,000. This impressive figure highlights not just its rarity but also the passion and dedication of the coin collecting community, as well as the increasing demand for high-quality, historical coins. So, if you ever come across a 1971 D quarter in outstanding condition, know that you may be holding a true numismatic treasure. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most extraordinary finds come from the most ordinary places, your pocket change. It also serves as a call to pay attention to the small details because hidden value often lies where we least expect it. As you dive deeper into the world of coins, remember that patience and knowledge are your greatest tools. Researching, seeking expert opinions, and understanding grading can unlock a whole new appreciation for these small pieces of history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some incredible coins. Remember, coin collecting is not just about the money, it's about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Stay curious, keep exploring, and who knows what hidden gems you might discover next. The world of coins is vast, and every coin has a story waiting to be told.